Hi everyone, I'm Meryem. Welcome to Fluid Soma. So in today's class, we're going to do some very easy, simple yoga postures and movements, but we're going to pay attention to the relationship between the movements that we do, the postures that we do, and our lungs, and also our heart. So a relationship to the heart and lungs, and the postures and movement that we do today. So we're going to start sitting in a cross-legged position, easy position. So find a position that you're comfortable in, and we're going to take a moment to close the eyes. You can have your palms down on your legs, on your thighs, or palms facing up towards the ceiling, whatever you prefer. And then we'll close the eyes. And we're taking these first few moments to be with ourselves and our body, to notice what's there, to feel how we're doing today. To start to pay attention to what our body is telling us from the inside. And also what our mind is telling us. And as always, there is no evaluation, no judgment. Just noticing, observing, accepting ourselves as we are at this time. And then we can open the eyes. So first thing we'll do is situate our lungs in our body. So we have the lungs on one side and then the other. They come in pairs. And the heart is somewhere in the middle between the two lungs. So at first we're going to feel the different parts of our lungs, and we're not actually going to feel them through our actual flesh and hands, because they're inside of our body and we're touching the skin. But we're going to put our attention to the lungs through our mind, and our hands are going to help us to just situate where they are approximately in our body. So we could start with one hand and place it right where your clavicle is, your collarbone is, and kind of rest your hand there. And your hand is also touching a bit your trapezius muscles, the front of your chest a bit. It's not the most comfortable position, but we're going to stay here just for a little bit to kind of have the weight of our head there. Great. And we're feeling through the touch of our hand and through the many layers underneath our hand, the upper part of our lung on this side. So the upper lobe of the lung. And maybe you don't feel it, you don't feel anything that's specific to the lung, but I'm sure that you feel some movement underneath your hand when you're breathing. And while doing that, just put your attention to the upper part of your lung. If it helps you, you can close your eyes. to go more in a feeling place, sensing place. And you're listening. Yeah, just staying there for a couple of breaths. And now we're going to go to the middle part of our lung on this side. So we're going to place our hand and put it on the ribs, pretty much where the bra line is, if you're wearing a bra, if you wear that. And your hand is resting on the flesh in the front of the chest, maybe on your breast, or maybe underneath, depending on your body. And it's good to remember that the lungs also are in the back of our body. It's just, a bit difficult to find the back with the hand on the same side. But we're sticking to the hand on the same side for now. And again, just breathing. You can feel some movement underneath your hand. We're kind of saying hello to the tissues on that side, in the middle area of your chest, awakening the awareness to the middle lobe of the lung on this side. You can again close your eyes if you prefer to feel it. Just taking a couple more breaths. Great. And now we'll move to the lower lobe, or the lower part of the lung. And so this time I'm going to place our hand more in the back, but lower than what we would normally think. I think usually we think of the lungs kind of not going further than the lower ribs in the front, but they actually go lower than that. So if you place your hand right there at the back, and again, just take a few moments to feel that part, the lower part of the lung, so the lower lobe. So again, just putting your awareness to the lower part of your lung on this side, and breathing and feeling some movement there. You can close your eyes again. We're awakening to the cellular consciousness of our lungs. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. So the exact same thing that we did on this side, here now on the second side. So placing your hand at the top here, across the collarbone, resting on the top of your rib cage. Probably also touching the neck area or the trapezius area. And take a moment to breathe and put our attention, bringing our mind to that area of the body, to the upper part of the lung on this side. A couple more breaths. It's work that requires patience and time, and it's great to do that. We rarely take the time to really slow down in our daily life, so I think it's a wonderful opportunity to be in touch with our own body in this way. And now we're going to move the hand to the middle part. So again, right across the middle of the rib cage, and the fingers resting on the bosom, on the breast, or maybe underneath, depending on your body. And you can really feel movement there when you're breathing. And bringing the awareness to the middle part of the lung, the middle lobe of the lung on this side. And this is directly borrowed from Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, who is the founder of Body Mind Centering, and I'm currently studying Body Mind Centering. So this is me sharing some of that work with you. And then we'll move to the lower part of the lung, so placing the hand a bit in the back here, lower than what you might think, and feeling the lower lobe of the lung on this side. You can also close your eyes to feel that. And so you're feeling movement underneath your hand as you're breathing, and taking your awareness to the lower lobe of the lung on this side. Good. And then we're going to let go of that. And we're going to start a movement, a circular movement with the chest and the rib cage. And, we can do it with the attention on the rib cage, so the bones, or we can do it with the attention on the lungs, the organs. So I'm going to invite you to go with the lungs as you do this movement. So I'm moving forward with my chest, and then to the side, and then back and side. And my hips are also shifting, so the weight is shifting on my hips. I'm not trying to keep my hips really stuck to the mat. I'm allowing them to move with me. So really feeling the movement from the lungs as you do this circle, and then we'll switch the direction. You might bring a bit more softness to the movement as you do it. Maybe more roundness. Maybe more ease and fluidity. You will find your own experience with it, which is the most important. That will be teaching you what you need to learn at that specific time. Just a couple more circles in this way, in this direction. Feeling the lungs. Great. And then come back to the center. Super. Now from here, we're really going to feel the weight of our pelvis going down to the floor, feeling our two sitting bones resting down on the floor. And we're going to lift one arm up towards the ceiling. We're going to find the connection between the mat and the hips or the sitting bones. And then from here, keeping anchored, we're going to start to side bend come to the side, and also keeping that connection from the fingertips to the hips. And while you do this, you're breathing. So you can really feel your lungs moving as you breathe. And you're allowing the bottom part of your lungs, the lower part of your lungs, to slide up as you do your side bend. And you might find that you actually have more range when you do that, that you're able to bend more to the side. Great, and then come back to the center. And we'll go to the second side. So finding first that anchoring through the sitting bones, connection to the ground, connecting the sitting bones to the hips, and then hip to the fingertips of the arm that's lifted. And then from there, breathing in through the nose, allow the bottom part of the ribs or the lower lobes of the limbs to slide up as you side bend to bring you in the position of the side flexion here, this lateral flexion. Great. Should feel really good. It's a different awareness to bring to this side bend that maybe you've done a lot of times, but really keeping the attention on the lungs as you breathe and then come back to the center. Great. All right, we're going to come to a twist here. So we're going to bring one hand to the thigh, opposite hand to the thigh. The other hand comes back a little bit, and you're going to find length in your spine. You're going to start to twist, but you're going to come at it again from the lungs. So you're going to feel the front here of the lungs on this side move back, and then the back of the lung on this other side move forward. So that's going to help you to find that twist. Lung on the front here moving back, and then the opposite, the back of the lung on the other side moves forward to twist. And it might bring more ease to the movement, more space, more spaciousness. And then come back to the center. You might feel more supported as you do it. So now we'll move to the second side, opposite hand to the thigh, and find length. And then as you start to twist, feel the front of the lung on this side moving back, and then the back of the lung on the other side moving forward. Breathing. So rather than thinking about the spine twisting, really let it be about the organs. So the lungs, the back of the lung here on this side moving forward, and then the front of the lung on the other side moving back. And it's just going to make it different and bring a different sensation to your body, to the movement. Great. And we'll come back to the center and then just move your body a little bit from side to side. Okay. So from here we're going to move to a tabletop position. So hands down on the mat, knees on the mat. You can have your toes curled under or feet pointed, whatever you prefer. And we're going to go side to side. So we're going to bring the head towards the tail to the right, and then the head towards the tail to the left. And as you do this movement, we're going to pay attention again to the lungs. So when you bend towards the right, you allow the bottom of the lungs on the left side to slide forward to bring you into your side bend, and then return back to center so that you can go to the other side, feeling the bottom of the lungs on the right side slide towards the top, towards the left, and then return back to the center. So do that a couple more times for yourself in your own rhythm, finding that sliding of the lungs on one side towards the opposite direction to help you find the side bend. And remember that they need to slide back to center to be balanced again before you move to the other side. You can take it as slow as you want or as fast as you want. Sometimes it's nice also to go a little bit faster, to just kind of get out of too much concentration and focus, just get moving and trusting that things are happening. Great. And then back to the center when you're ready. And then from here, let's come to a child's pose. Let's open the knees nice and wide, bring the big toes together. I'm going to take the hips back towards the heels and move the fingers and hands in front of you, and then rest your forehead down towards the ground. Breathing here. And now another sensation that we're going to play with is the sensation of the lungs kind of wrapping around the heart. The heart in the middle between the two lungs, and the lungs embracing the heart. So your heart can also soften and rest in the support of the lungs around it. And remember that the heart is also an organ that's three-dimensional. So the front, sides and back, and top and bottom. Just allow yourself to breathe and be with this awareness in this child's pose of the heart being embraced by the lungs hugging the heart. And when you're ready, you're going to put your weight back onto the hands and bring the knees back to being parallel to each other, and you'll tuck your toes under. And from here, you're going to lift up to downward dog, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, and you're going to allow the lungs to slide down towards the ground, towards the earth. So allowing gravity to play on those structures as well. And your legs can be bent. You can also pedal your legs a little bit. Or if it's something that's comfortable for you, you can go to straighten the legs. Whatever you choose is great. But feel that sliding down of the lungs towards the head, if you want, towards the hands, towards the mat. And then you're going to look forward, bend both knees, walk your hands, or walk your feet towards the hands, I mean. And then keep a distance between the hands and feet. We're going to stop right here. We're going to bend the knees nicely, and we're going to lead with the head to come up to standing, and at the same time we're going to allow the lungs to slide back down, almost like what I'm doing with my shirt here, sliding it back down. So I'm allowing my lungs to slide back down, and sliding down the back to come to standing, and feel balanced between the front and back of my body, to feel my lungs balanced in my rib cage and my torso. Taking a moment here. And it should feel really spacious and full in the body, especially in the rib cage, especially in the torso. Present in the front of the lungs and the back of the lungs, and of course also the sides. So that's the end of the class. Thank you so much for following me and taking the time to do this exploration with me. So I hope it's useful for you and that you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.